Nemanja, here we are in Belgrade. Just talk to us a little bit about this place and why it was important for you to come back here after retiring and with your family and living here again.
Actually, first time I came to Belgrade, I was 15 years old, like a young boy. I was in Belgrade until 22. Then obviously I moved to Moscow, then England, Italy. So I've been living 18 years away from Belgrade and from Serbia. My kids, at the time, the oldest one was 15, and I was thinking, is the time maybe to come back home, because I want them to feel what is it like to live in Serbia, to learn about the culture, history, and obviously they always went to the international schools, and obviously they speak a lot of languages, but I wanted to learn about Serbian culture, and then obviously they will go to the college, obviously maybe in England or USA.
What was your childhood like?
I grew up in a small town 2 hours from Belgrade, and my childhood was always about the football, about sport. Since I was 3-4 years old, I always liked to have a ball next to me. So it didn't change even now. I still like to have a ball next to me. Obviously, it's not a football ball. Now I'm playing tennis, paddle, golf. So yeah, I'm now thinking about other stuff.
Would you like to be involved in the administration side, or potentially a coach, a manager?
Since I retired, that was like 7-8 years ago, I've tried to educate myself in different areas. I was the football player for many years. I've been playing in the clubs, big clubs, different countries, different cultures, and that's experience. And I learned a lot of things playing in those clubs. But I thought that it's important as well to educate yourself to see the football from different perspective. And that's why I went with UEFA, and I was doing that master for 2 years. And it was a great experience, because as a football player, you see the sports side, but you don't see commercial side. You don't see how the club functioning, obviously financing, how you finance the club, and all other aspects. So it was very interesting, and obviously that knowledge I got, hopefully I can use in the future.
You have strong ideas clearly about football. What's your coaching philosophy if we were to give you the chance to manage a team now? What would be your thoughts about that role?
I think the football is everything about the movement without the ball, and we see now that football is being changing in recent years. We have now defenders, obviously the central midfield players, they're playing as the defenders. So we see that teams, they like to play football, and obviously that teams they like to play football, they're doing well. And we can see that teams, they, especially in the Champions League quarterfinal, semi-final, with so many goals in those matches, which is good for football. And I'm not far from that. I would like to play, obviously, attacking football, which I always did through my career because I was playing in the big teams. But sometimes you have to understand what kind of players you have in a team and what kind of system you can play with them. But definitely, it's very important, I think, for any manager, it's working without the ball, obviously moving without the ball when you have the ball and when you don't have the ball. To play in a short area as well, and to be compact, and using the best strengths you have in your team. I think that's not different to the other coaches, but it's most important, can you make it work?
Do you study coaches, not just from a football perspective, but from a leadership perspective?
They're different. Definitely they're different, especially the Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. Their football is about the moving without the ball, attacking the areas in the right time. I believe that Liverpool, especially not this year, but a few years before, he was playing more direct football with a lot of runnings in high intensity. I think even he said sometimes, I like the hard rock. So that's how he plays the football as well. I think this year, he's kind of tried to play a bit more. He used the players with more quality, especially in the midfield player area, and I think because of that, I think he was doing well until the few games before the end of the league. Pep obviously has a system he was playing for many years. I think he developed through the English football, because when he came, he liked to play more tiki-taka in terms of like a slow way of playing football, but now you can see that even he likes to have players with the speed strength, and that's his advantage. He's always improving, and he understanding that he has to improve if he want to sustain as a manager, and he's doing that magnificently. That's why they're there.
How important is leadership in setting culture? Because you played under one of the great managers at Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson. Does that culture setting come right from the very top?
Definitely. I think the coach is the one he's setting the tone. His expectation is becoming your expectation. He, as a manager, he always have a big demands. And I think that sometimes people speaking about the culture, the way you play, but actually is the culture as well the way you think. You know, going every game and thinking, I want to have 3 points. I don't want to have a draw. I'm not going there to enjoy football. I want to win the game. That's the priority. Even in my time, we had a lot of matches when we didn't play well, but we won the games. And then you realize that you are the team that have a chance to win. You have that resilience, hard work, and team spirit that you go through these difficult moments. And that's what Man United need, and that's obviously come from the management, and now it's even more difficult because it's not one-man show. It's obviously you have a big group of the players, you have a big group of the staff, and you have to manage that well. And obviously, manager, he cannot do by himself that job. He needs to have support from the sport director, and obviously through here to the club.
There's a lot of structural change right now at Manchester United. Will it take a little bit of time for that to play out, and do you see positive signs for the future?
I think that the approach of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I like the approach. Obviously, he's going slowly. He doesn't making decision just with a gut feeling. I think he want to create the group of the people that they will be in charge of different departments. Man United is the big club with the different departments. You have to have a good leadership in those departments. I hope he's going to choose the right people, and obviously will take the time until Man United become again what we all expecting to be, and I'm believing that Sir Jim, with his knowledge, and obviously not just as a side of the sport, I think as a businessman he's very successful, and he knows how leadership is important.
Even back then, did you look at Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill and the way they operated, and at the back of your mind think,
of course,
I'm interested in this kind of...
No, of course, because you have to understand how the club functioning. If you want to stay there for many years, you have to accept the rules, and obviously system is set up at the club. To stay there for 9 years, you have to follow the system, you have to follow the rules that exist in the club, and system was good. When I came to Man United, I came as an unknown football player in an English surrounding. I have to fight for it, and I start very low in terms of my ranking, and then in the end I came to become the captain of Manchester United. So I think I achieved that because I followed the system, and obviously I followed the rules of the club.
Do you think we could in the future see you back in England, either as a manager, coach, or as an administrator?
If someone asked me 6-7 years ago I will come back to Belgrade to live, I would say I'm not sure. I have different ideas. So you never know what's going to happen in a few years' time. What I can do, I can prepare myself for the things if they come to me. So that's why in the past 6-7 years. So if something happened, I would like to be ready. So I'm open for any opportunity that I can see that I can help, that I can be part of the good environment and good project that I can have something to offer.